Thanks for joining us tonight for our regularly scheduled Wadsworth City School District Board of Education meeting. Today is Monday, October 14th. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Beeman.
Julie Beatty.
Here.
Joe Stevens.
Here.
Tim Beck. Here. Gary McComas.
Here.
Connor Dogler. Here. In the minutes will note that Amanda Gordon is absent.
If I could have a motion for approval and signing of our minutes from the last meeting.
So moved. Second.
Second. Mr. Beeman.
Joe Stevens.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye. Thank you. Turn the meeting over to Dr. Hill.
Thank you, President Stevens. At this time, we're going to ask our students of the month and principals to please make their way backstage. Board, once the student of the month presentations are done, we're going to have a presentation from Mr. Jackson, our Director of Instruction and Professional Development, on the state report card. Before we reconvene on stage, you may want to take your microphone with you in case you have any questions. Thank you.
Good evening, Wadsworth families. My name is Savannah Kelly. I'm the principal at Franklin Elementary School, and I am just so proud to announce that Elise Haas is October's Board of Education Student of the Month. Elise is a great example of what it means to follow the Franklin way. She always comes to school ready to learn and does her best every single day. She's not only a hard worker, but she's also a kind student who helps others. She is a leader in our building. She lives with her mom, dad, dog, and her 2 sisters. Elise loves school because she loves learning, getting to know her teachers and seeing them all week, and being with her friends. Her favorite memories at Franklin are getting to grow chicks in 3rd grade in Mrs. Likens' class, and in 2nd grade adopting a cow in Miss Lake's class. Her favorite subjects in school are music and art. Art is one of her hobbies, and she loves drawing and creating things with whatever she can find. She also loves singing and listening to songs. Her favorite singer is Taylor Swift. Me too. Outside of school, Elise participates in dance, and she's going to start golf soon. She also loves Roblox and playing with her friends. With her family, Elise likes to go out to dinner with them, watch movies, have game nights, and celebrate birthdays and holidays. When she grows up, she wants to be a doctor. She likes learning about things, and her mom thinks that she can do it. Her mom used to work at Akron Children's Hospital, and Elise loved using her doctor tools. Doctors help people, and that is what she wants to do in her life. When asked who she looks up to most in the world, Elise says her mom and dad. Her mom always takes away any of her fears and is always there to comfort her. She can remember fondly her mom drawing hearts on her hand whenever they had to be apart. Her dad always teaches her things about life and helps with homework, and he's always there for her. Here's what Elise's teachers have to say about her. Elise has been thriving in 4th grade. She comes to school each day with a smile and eager to embody the Franklin way through her hard work and positive attitude. Elise consistently stays on task, puts her best foot forward, and shows a genuine love for learning. Her willingness to lend a hand and support others makes her a wonderful part of our classroom, and we are so incredibly proud of her and so grateful to have her a part of our Franklin 4th grade family. Keep up the amazing work, Elise. Please join me in congratulating Elise Haas.
Good evening, I'm Joe Shalala, principal at Isham Elementary School, and I'm excited to introduce Joe Shepard as Isham's October Board Student of the Month. Wyatt's the son of Daniel and Ashley Shepard, has a younger sister, Catherine, who's also a kindergartner at Isham, and a 2-year-old sister, Evelyn. Joe's favorite subject in school is, in his words, definitely math, because he said it's kind of fun to be challenged and figure things out. I agree with that. Outside of school, Joe plays soccer, likes to collect rocks and gems, and cares about his family and enjoys playing baseball with his dad. He thinks he might like to learn to play pickleball soon as well. I love that. Here's what his teachers have to say about him. Joe is a caring member of our classes. He is patient as he volunteers to assist other students in the classroom. He's an organized student, a quick learner, and works hard at schoolwork. His favorite school subjects are math and science. He scored accelerated advanced on the 3rd grade state test. Joe is successful due to his ability to focus his attention, his willingness to work hard and work well with others. He has found the balance between seeing the big picture and attending to details. When I asked Joe about something he was proud of accomplishing, he stated, meeting new friends and helping some of the 3rd graders during IE time. He enjoys working with younger students and supporting everyone at Isham. He serves on our safety patrol team and consistently looks for ways to clean up around the school and make it a better place. Joe's desire to support others is so evident in his answer when I asked him what being the Student of the Month means to him. Here's what he said. I'm happy I'm doing well, but I want to celebrate all the other people who are also doing a good job. That's a really cool answer. When I asked him who he looks up to, he said, my mom and dad, because they always provide for us. And then he specifically mentioned about the food. Apparently there's a lot of good food in this house, and there's a lot of homemade stuff. Waffle, was it French toast? Tonight, yeah, noodles before, oh man, I'm gonna stop over. When I asked him about advice he'd give to younger students at Isham, he said, don't run in the halls, that's his safety patrol side coming through. Be kind and never give up. And this is exactly what Joe lives out. We're so proud of Joe and look forward to seeing you continue to grow as an amazing student and young man. Please help me congratulate Joe Shepard as Isham's October Board Student of the Month.
Good evening, my name is Laura Maslick, proud principal at Lincoln Elementary. It is my pleasure to introduce Ever Booth, Lincoln's October Board Student of the Month. Ever is the daughter of Josh and Emily, and younger sister to Weston and Oren. She has a snake named Ghost, and 5 cats named Charlie, Frankie, Cricket, Sunny, and Mac. Here's what Ever's teachers, Mrs. Barker and Miss Sibio, had to say when nominating her. Ever comes to school every day with a positive attitude and can be trusted to do exactly what she's supposed to be doing. She is honest and responsible and never ceases to amaze her teachers with her detailed stories. Ever does her best in class, willingly volunteers answers, participates in group discussions, and always has her work done on time. She has shown great perseverance in the face of challenges and embraces them as opportunities to learn and grow. Outside of school, Ever enjoys art, spending time with friends, and playing with her cats. She says she sees herself as a future cat lady and plans to at least have 4 cats and 2 dogs when she has a place of her own. And she actually has her eye on owning a teacup chihuahua one day. Ever has her own art room at home. She loves to draw models in the latest fashion, adds color and even some sparkle to their designs. She was inspired by a YouTube tutorial and has been hooked ever since. Her favorite art supply to work with right now is Poscas, and this was new. I learned this. Poscas are special kinds of paint markers that come in different sizes. When Ever grows up, she would like to be a veterinarian, rescue animals, or possibly be an event or party planner. One of the people she admires most is Olivia Rodrigo. Ever says, I admire her for letting all her feelings out into her music. She is successful and I just love her music too. Ever is already taken on several leadership roles this year, which include the morning announcements team, our green team, which is our recycling club, and student council. Ever is a bright and compassionate young lady who is a positive influence in our school community. Keep being amazing and always remember, Ever, that you are smarter than you think, braver than you seem, stronger than you feel, and you can do hard things. Will you help me in congratulating Ever Booth?
Good evening, my name is Dave Ryder and I'm the principal at Overlook Elementary. Overlake Elementary is proud to recognize Talia Kuhn as October Board Student of the Month. This is what Mrs. Pecknick had to say about Talia in her nomination. Talia is being nominated for Board Student of the Month for being an outstanding role model to her peers. Since the first day of school, Talia has shown up each day ready to learn and try her very best. She follows directions for the first time they are given, and she actively participates in class discussions. She is kind to her peers and is always willing to lend a helping hand. We are fortunate to have Talia in our class this year as she continually brings positive energy to our room. We are so proud of Talia and know she will continue to succeed well beyond the 4th grade. At school, Talia is also a member of the Overlook Student Council. She is a preschool helper and she assists with the morning announcements. Talia's favorite Overlook teachers so far are Mrs. Ott and Mrs. Kervin because they were not only good teachers, but they were also very kind to her. Talia's favorite subject is science. When she grows up, she'd like to work for NASA. Not necessarily to travel through space, but she loves to do all the cool experiments in class, and she thinks that would translate to that job. However, she would like to experience the wonder of zero gravity. Outside of school, Talia enjoys playing and wrestling with her little brother, as well as coloring and playing video games with him. Her favorite restaurant is Carrabba's, where she enjoys pasta with meatballs, and her favorite vacation destination is Punta Cana, Mexico. I think I'm going to start hanging out with her family. Overlook Elementary is honored to recognize Talia Kuhn as October Board Student of the Month. Her exemplary behavior and academic excellence make her truly deserving of this recognition. Please join me in congratulating Talia Kuhn, Overlook Elementary, October Board Student of the Month.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Hampshire, and I am Valley View Elementary Principal. And this beautiful young lady right here is Emma Kali. Emma has been nominated by Mrs. Owens as our Student of the Month, and we are very excited to share just some information about her and some of the things that she loves. She is into gymnastics. She enjoys work, like she was in the play, Miracle on 34th Street. And she has decided that she wants to grow up and breed reptiles. We think that's a pretty cool thing. Mrs. Owens noted that she is very excited to recognize Emma because she's amazing. And she is a leader every day in Valley View. She not only leads by example, but she is confident enough to speak up, to motivate and encourage others to be the best person that they can be. She is kind and trustworthy. She's an excellent friend, and she's a great collaborator in the classroom. She's always conscientious, and she's a very excellent student. She cares about her work, always giving her best effort on every assignment. She advocates for herself and for others, and perseveres through challenges. She continually strives to be the best person that she can be. We've also, with her today, she has a very large following. She's got 5 brothers sitting in the seats, watching her as she sets an example for them as well. You can count on Emma to consistently demonstrate Valley View's values of being safe, kind, and responsible in both her words and her actions. Leaders give their time and talents to support others, and Emma generously supports the Valley View community as a member of our safety patrol, student council, and our morning announcements crew. Emma, we are so proud of you. You are making a difference at Valley View Elementary, and we know that you are one of our shining stars.
Hello and good evening, Board of Education and Wadsworth Community. I'm Brandon Cobb, Principal of Central Intermediate School. I'm here tonight to celebrate October Board Student Month, Sydney Shoemaker. Sydney is the daughter of Tim and Julie Shoemaker. She's also here tonight with her sister, who you'll learn more about here soon. Sydney's a 5th grader and was nominated by her teachers, Mrs. Bever, Mrs. Brooks, and Mrs. Wolf. I had the privilege of talking with Sydney today. She shared that she enjoys painting, softball, and basketball. She also has a love for sea turtles, and she got to see newly hatched turtles this past summer in Florida. Her parents are her heroes because they are trustworthy and always there for her when she needs them. Here's what her teachers had to say. Mrs. Bever, Mrs. Brooks, and Mrs. Wolf are proud to announce Sydney Shoemaker as October Board Student of the Month. The transition to 5th grade can be challenging, but Sydney has managed these changes and challenges with confidence and grace. She's a bright young lady who demonstrates responsibility in managing her classmate and class work and materials. Sydney is friendly and enthusiastic to her peers and teachers, always entering the classroom with a bright smile and a curious mind ready to learn. She frequently lends a helping hand to her classmates and teachers. We know we can count on Sydney to do her very best in all aspects of her day at CIS. Sydney's future is so very bright. We look forward to being a part of her journey towards academic success and personal fulfillment. Please help me congratulate October Board Student of the Month for CIS, Sydney Shoemaker.
Good evening, I'm Chris Roberts, principal at Wadsworth Middle School, and tonight I am excited to recognize a student who brings energy, kindness, and a love of learning to Wadsworth Middle School every day. It is my pleasure to present our Board Student of the Month, Eliana Shoemaker, an individual who truly stands out both in the classroom and in our community. Eliana is the daughter of Tim and Julie Shoemaker. And in my discussion with Eliana, she shared that healthy foods and family consumer science are 2 of her favorite classes because she enjoys the opportunity to cook and learn about food. While she can enjoy almost any subject, what makes the biggest difference for her is the learning environment. Being in a class with supportive friends and helpful teachers brings out the best in her. One project she is particularly proud of is the Sugary Beverages Project. Working alongside her friends, she investigated the amount of sugar in many of the popular drinks from Starbucks. When it comes to her success at Wadsworth Middle School, kindness and helpfulness have played a huge role. She makes a point to ensure others feel comfortable and confident, always reminding her classmates that they have a purpose and can make an impact. Her motivation comes from a drive to get good grades and to build strong, meaningful friendships. She values the learning process and is committed to putting in an effort, whatever it takes to succeed. She also stays active and involved outside of school, whether she's playing basketball for Wadsworth Middle School or participating in rec league softball or engaging with her church youth group. She enjoys being part of a team and giving her best to everything she does. The significant influence in her life are her parents and her friends, both in and outside of school. Her parents have always encouraged her to be the best person she can be, which has guided her approach to school and relationships. Her advice to her peers is simple but powerful. Maintain good attendance, participate in class, and complete all your assignments. Not only will this help you achieve good grades, but it will also build strong relationships with your teachers and classmates. When faced with a challenge, Eliana works hard to learn from her mistakes. While she likes to tackle problems on her own, she's not afraid to ask for help from her friends or teachers when necessary. Her goals for the rest of the year are to continue to earn good grades, take pride in her work, and always strive to be a good friend. Eliana also wants to recognize the teachers who have had the biggest impact on her. Last year, Mrs. Shrub and Mrs. Hanchy stood out for being kind, down to earth, and always focused on helping her improve. This year, she's especially enjoying Mrs. Smith's math class, where she finds the perfect combination of a helpful, positive, and fun learning environment. Congratulations to Wadsworth Middle School Student of the Month, Eliana Shoemaker. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait to see all the great things that you'll continue to accomplish.
Good evening. I'm Vincent Suber, and I'm the proud principal of Wadsworth High School. And Wadsworth High School is proud to present Lillian Jeanette as October's Career Tech Student of the Month. Lillian is the daughter of Megan and Chad Jeanette. She enjoys spending time with her family. She particularly enjoys going to concerts and conventions with her mom, dad, and her sister Grace. Lillian is involved in many activities at school and in our community. She's a member of National Honor Society, Student Council, Big Brother and Big Sister, and is in the Compact Cosmetology program. Lillian has challenged herself in the classroom as well, taking many AP classes like AP US History, AP European History, College Credit Plus English, and College Credit Plus Speech, all while maintaining an impressive 3.68 grade point average. Lillian has had a positive impact on Wadsworth High School. One of her teachers, Mr. Nate Singleton, had this to say about her. Wadsworth has so many good students, and one of our finest is Lillian. She is kind, considerate to her peers, reaching out to anyone who may need a friend. In the classroom, she is not afraid to speak out and contribute to a lesson or discussion. And the work she completed was always developed to the best of her ability. When I recall my time in class with her, I recall a leader. Lillian Jeanette is worthy of this honor, and I'm thrilled for her to receive this latest recognition. After graduating, Lillian plans on taking her State Board of Cosmetology exam and begin working in a salon. She will also be attending Kent State University to pursue a business degree to benefit her career in cosmetology. Please join me in congratulating Lillian Jeanette. Wadsworth High School is also proud to present Kai Close as the Board Student of the Month for October. Kai is the son of Mike and Carly Close and a brother of Reed. He loves to play basketball, baseball, and football with his dad and his brother. He also enjoys fishing with Reed and playing pickleball with his mom. Kai is actively engaged in multiple extracurricular activities at Wadsworth High School. He has been the president of Student Council all 4 years in high school. He is a member of Peer Mentoring, Hope Squad, PBIS Board, National Honor Society, and Grizzly Leaders. Kai is also a 3-year letter winner in baseball, being named twice to both the All-Suburban League team and the All-District team. Kai's dedication to his academic pursuits is also truly impressive. Throughout his time at Wadsworth, he has taken 9 AP classes and 2 CCP classes, while actively participating in a variety of school activities. This highlights his willingness to challenge himself and strive for excellence in his studies. His exceptional 4.47 grade point average, coupled with challenging coursework over 4 years, is a testament to his hard work and commitment to his education. Kai has had a positive impact on Wadsworth High School. One of his teachers, Mr. Scott Callahan, had this to say: intelligent, disciplined, respectful, competitive, driven, compassionate, and loyal are just a few words that come to mind when describing Kai. It was an absolute honor to teach him. His positive energy, his tremendous sense of humor, his sincere kindness make him an ultimate student. Kai is not afraid to hold his peers accountable, and he willingly encourages and helps those in need. Kai's leadership at Wadsworth High School has been transformative. He sets high standards, works hard, serves others, and always does the right thing. Inspiring those around him to do the same. Making our school a better place is a responsibility that Kai has taken very seriously. Kai is the kind of young man who challenges me in all the right ways. He makes me want to reach my potential both as a teacher and a coach. I am grateful to have been part of Kai's high school journey. After graduation, Kai plans to play baseball in college and pursue a degree in pre-med. He is still deciding where he wants to play in college, but he is looking forward to making it to med school and becoming an orthopedic surgeon someday. Please join me in congratulating Kai Close.
Congratulations again to all of our students of the month and to our families, friends, others that are here this evening. If you're here just for the Student of the Month presentation, we're going to be transitioning into the business portion of the meeting. We have our presentation on the state report cards, some other discussion items. While you're more than welcome to stay around for the rest of the meeting, if you need to leave at this time, please feel free to do so.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. Thank you, Dr. Hill, Board of Education, for allowing me to speak tonight. Give you a brief overview on the local district report card. As you will see, our report card is based upon 5 areas. Achievement being student performance on the state test that we take every spring. Progress, dealing with academic growth, otherwise known as value added. The graduation rate, measuring students who graduate in 4 or 5 years. Gap closing, measuring gifted performance, chronic absenteeism, and content achievement by student subgroups. And then lastly, early literacy, measuring reading improvement and proficiency for students in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Each district rating is rated on stars, ranging from 1 being red to 5 being dark blue. We achieved 4.5 stars, which we will see in just a moment. On the left, you can see where Wadsworth falls on the overall state distribution, which is sky blue, scoring of 4.5, with 101 other school districts in that category. Lastly, at the bottom, looking horizontally, you can see where all districts fell as it relates to the 5 categories being assessed. So as you will see on the next slide, we achieved a 4 in achievement, as an example, aligning us with 35.7% or 217 other school districts in this category. So looking specifically at our local report card, we did an outstanding job overall with a rating of 4.5 stars out of 5. Though it looks like gap closing on the far right-hand side there has nothing in it, remember that it is dark blue, which is the best rating dealing specifically with our gifted population, addressing chronic absenteeism, and moving our students in certain categories and subgroups. All other areas are very strong as well. As you can see, there is no red, no yellow, and even green present on our overall district report card. So breaking it down a bit further, we can see color and number attached to each star for each building, given the specific results. This is a great roadmap to start identifying areas of improvement and growth needed to be successful long-term. Reviewing data, having conversations, creating plans for improvements are all ways to start moving in the right direction with any improvements that are needed. So we will quickly take a look at the 5 areas and what we are assessed in. And I see some of you looking intently. Remember, this is accessible on ODU's website at any point as well. So achievement is our first one at 88%. Is where we ended up having 96.2 total points out of a maximum 109.3. That is calculated by the number of students scoring in certain categories, limited, basic, proficient, etc., and then multiplying that out and adding all of that together. What is interesting to review on a report card is the comparison and trend data. You'll notice that kind of in the upper right-hand corner there. There's 3 tabs that you can look at on that website. It gives you the ability to compare schools, our school, to other school districts, similar school districts and similar school district scores, and of course, other state scores. Historically, we want to look at how we fare against those similar schools in those similar districts to gauge success, as we have done much better historically than the state averages. So several examples would be Greene in Summit County, Lake in Stark County, Olmsted Falls, so forth and so on. Progress is the second category. So progress is measured by expected growth or value added, where a student starts to where a student ends. Remember that dark blue, sometimes appearing charcoal, is very strong, along with light blue as well, making very strong growth. Green is still very good, then having to focus a little bit more on the yellow and red as we fell short on making expected growth in those categories. So we have some work to do, as you can see, but overall, very, very strong growth as a district. Graduation rate is probably the most simplistic to understand. Are our freshmen graduating after being with us for 4 years? The 5-year graduation rate also is applied to this for students of the 2022 class who started in 18 and graduated in the summer of 2023. In the areas of ELA and math achievement, are our students achieving their state goal? The short answer is yes. They are overachieving their goals, as you can clearly see here, or not, because it's really small, so I apologize for that. The horizontal colored bars are our students' groups or groupings, and the red dot on the top or the red line on the bottom are their goal areas or marks. So if looking at performance in every group, we met our goal, and in many cases were significantly past, from right to left, significantly past that red dot or over that red line. In the growth index, we fell just short in identifying an area that we need to grow as well. So again, similar viewing as it relates to graduation rate, overachieving our goals for all subgroups in that first image. Our English language learners are doing the same, which is the single bar there. And then chronic absenteeism as defined as 10% of the school year for any reason. I think that's needed to be noted, for any reason, equaling 18 days of absences, which is almost a month of school. So we're sitting at approximately 18.3% of our students that fell in that category. We feel this may not be representative of our true attendance, as we have many high school students on unique schedules, and we are working to properly record that and do better with that next year. And then last is early literacy. This looks at 3 things: proficiency in 3rd grade, promotion to 4th grade, and improving early literacy. From those 3 area scores, a weighted calculation is completed, and that's how we achieved an 84.1%, or 4 out of 5 stars. So what are our takeaways? Most importantly, just an awareness and understanding of the scores that are presented in front of us, and then having conversations about that to make growth. Student attendance is a critical connector for learning, and obviously so much more. As we just reviewed our scores, we need to continue to connect with families and our school community to dedicate resources and keep our chronic students coming to school on a more regular basis. And then lastly, early literacy continues to be an area of growth for our district. You all approved significant changes last year in our elementary curriculum, aligning with state requirements last spring. Along with that, we are currently starting an intervention materials review, and we will be submitting that to you for recommendations in coming months. So coupling these 2 significant changes together, along with strong conversations and dialogue, I think we will continue to close the gap and show significant growth in this area as well. So at this time, I do appreciate you allowing me to come up, and I'd be happy to sit down at this point. You don't have to, it is not required.
While understanding we may have been measuring absenteeism,
Yeah.
how do we fare compared to prior years? How do we compare? What is the average in the state?
Average in the state currently for chronic absenteeism is 25.2, I believe, or 25.3, so just about 25%. So I think what we're striving to do is get the most accurate number we can based upon the unique schedules that we have. And Dr. Hill, correct me if I'm wrong, or even Dr. Suber, I want to say it was something like 200 unique schedules. It was a very large number of unique schedules.
What Mr. Jackson's referring to is with College Credit Plus, with flex pass and when students can kind of come and go depending on schedules here at the high school. We have a student information system that tracks all of that. So when he says that we believe what is reported may not be fully accurate, I want to clarify, attendance-wise and whether kids are here or not here, we know. And we're making notifications to parents, guardians, like we're required to. The issue is whether the system, because of how it's been set up in the past, is actually able to distinguish between times kids are allowed to be gone from school per their schedule, or whether it's recording them as absent. And we've had conversation about this when it came up out of the attendance office here at the high school last school year. We've made adjustments because there were like hundreds of unique schedules for kids that are not the typical schedule built into the information system. We've been able to take those 400 and some kids and get most of them into something a little over 20 different calendars for this year. And Linda McCann, our EMIS coordinator, has entered all of those different calendars into the information system. Those kids are now tied to them. That should help us with some of the issue. I can't tell you what percent of that 18 is based off of that, but we do believe there is some misreporting as it relates to that number.
Thank you.
I think, too, it's also important, we say this every year, I think, to our parents and community looking at the quality profile that's attached, that comes along with our state report card, because it kind of tells the complete picture of what is occurring in our district.
Good. I appreciate you saying that.
So when we were touring some of the elementaries a couple weeks ago, I believe we saw an example at Franklin of like the reading intervention type program. Is that correct?
They saw response to intervention being RTI.
Okay.
So, and that's something that should directly impact our early literacy percentages. Is that?
That would be one of probably several categories that would directly impact. Yes, absolutely.
Can you just elaborate briefly on what happens at one of those meetings?
At a response to intervention meeting? Yeah, so you would have a case manager, you would have at least one teacher, depending upon a team, a principal, and then the RTI committee that's basically looking at an individual student and if they're making growth based upon screeners that have been put in place, classroom data, classroom assessments, and then determining a plan of action for the best intervention to meet the needs of that student, and then cycling back after some progress monitoring to ensure that success is being made or growth is being made. And then from there, either continuing with the plan or revising the plan as it plays out throughout the year.
Thanks for putting it together. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Now you can sit down.
Thank you. Thank you.
First, I want to thank Mr. Jackson for his time for that presentation. I also want to thank all of our staff and students. You know, the report card, while it's a snapshot of what's happening, represents a lot of work that happens during the school year. And when paired together with that quality profile that Ms. Beatty mentioned, and that's also mentioned on the detail sheet and linked in the agenda, I think really helps to give an overall accurate picture of what's happening in this district. We have a lot to be proud of. We have some areas that we definitely will focus on to continue to make improvements in as well. So again, thank you to all of our students and staff for the work that they're doing each day. Moving on, we have including compliance with new requirements that are enacted through Ohio House Bill 250. So as a reminder, you have to have a policy that's compliant with law in place by July 1st of 2025. What you have in front of you are two different things that I shared. One is the proposed revisions based upon discussion last month. And second is a back and front of the language from actual House Bill 250, where in the stuff that's underlined is the new language that was included in the law. I think that continues onto the back of page 2 there with what the requirements are. So again, we are not in any rush to have to enact the policy. If further discussion is needed, we can do that. I took, though, kind of summarizing what I heard at the last meeting, comparing it to what's in the language from the new law, and suggested some revisions that strengthen our policy in relation to what the requirements are. When we get to the point where we feel like we have a finished product, I'll share that with the district's legal counsel to make sure that he's in agreement that whatever we bring to you for official recommendation to be adopted is fully compliant with the law. So just turn it back over to you for any comments, questions relating to the revision or other things that you feel like need to be discussed further relating to the policy itself.
Dr. Stuber, since we're now 6-8 weeks in the school year, do you have any other feedback from students on the policy?
Same last time. I mean, that's what. Again, I'll let Connor speak because he's one of my students who work reps, so he can do that as well. But yeah, not much last time.
Thank you. Connor?
Yeah. If you remember what I was talking about last time, where it was definitely a mix of both good and a little bit of like critical feedback from students, I'd say it's remained about the same. That issue that we had with lunch and Wi-Fi access during lunch has been completely resolved. I haven't heard anything about that since. It's gone very smoothly there, and I still have gotten feedback from other students that are saying that it helps in the classroom setting and help reduce distractions from other students who like could be on their phone as well. I still have that like request from students to consider allowing it during like IE periods when they get their work done or during like study halls and periods like that, but besides that it's remained about the same.
Thanks, Connor. Any other discussion? Gary or Tim, you have kids in school? I said Gary and Tim, you have kids in school.
Other than when it first started with the start of the year, I haven't heard a word since.
Yeah, I think before the school year started, there was like some like, how's this going to work? This isn't fair. And once the school year started, I haven't really heard anything. So.
Okay. I'd like time for us to review this, Dr. Hill, and have all the board members present and
Sure.
take further action on it.
Okay, I'll put this back on November for further discussion.
It's good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the next topic for discussion are the turf color options for the field at Arkwright Stadium. So as you may recall, last regular meeting, you approved us to move forward with adding or replacing the turf at Arkwright Stadium next summer. We're well past what we were initially told would be the useful life of that field. We've been able to kind of extend it through proper care, regular company coming out yearly to look and give advice, other things. Our crew's done a nice job. We have really, what's at question here tonight, unless there's other things that you'd like to talk about as well, are the end zones and what color. So there's 4 different choices that were shared, I think, previously, but you also have them in front of you. And what we're looking for tonight is just to get your thoughts on this. We have to finalize our selection later this month in order to be in place for June when this replacement's going to happen. It pretty much takes a month time. So pretty much the month of June into early July, that field will be off limits. So we currently have option 2, which would be page 2 with the red end zones. I would tell you that overall, the team that's been working on this likes what we have and would like to stay with the red. If there's a downside to the red, it's that we've experienced over the last 3, maybe 4 years, the red has faded. It started to be noticeable, I'd say 3 to 4 years ago. If you were to go look at it now, it looks more pink than it does red. We are told by the company that the product they have now is different with the colors than what it was back when we installed this 12 years ago. But that said, that's our concern with the red. Steve was able to get some other selections. That option 1 would just be the green. And then if we get into option 3, this was briefly discussed at that special meeting you had. We have the black end zone, the white lettering with the red trim around it, I believe. And then the 4th option would be white end zones. What's not shown in option 4 that they would do if we wanted them to is where the end zone begins. The out of bounds line would be red to have some differentiating feature between the white end zone and the out of bounds. But if you could visualize those ends with red around them, that's what the rest of that would look like. We asked the same question about the fading with the black. We were told in response, not only is their product a little different than 12 years ago, regardless of color, but we were told that the black does not fade as easy as the red. With the limited sample that we have down at the current stadium, would tell you that seems to support what they told us with what we actually see. If you look at the black lines that are on the current field, they do not look like they have faded anywhere near what that red has. Now, it's a much smaller area that we're looking at. So we are looking for feedback from you tonight. Again, the team that's been involved in this, I would tell you, the majority of them would tell you that they'd like to stick with the red. But we wanted to bring this to you for discussion if there's something that you would like to see different.
Did we get an answer on if the end zones could be covered in the long periods of non-use?
I think we're still waiting on that, right? So the question is, did we get a response yet on whether we could put something over the field?
Yeah, I'm still waiting officially. It's not really recommended to have a cover on it for a long-term time, but keep checking with people, so I don't have an official answer on that period.
Okay. And we do have the samples here tonight if anybody would like to see the sample rather than what's depicted on the paper. I think we have all the colors with us.
I like the red. How far did we go past our recommended
So
use of light?
we believed initially that it would last somewhere around 9-10 years, and we're in season 12 of use. It was installed in the summer of 2013. So we got it's somewhere between 2 to 3 years past what we expected, I would say.
Okay. I'm fine sticking with the red as well.
I like number 2.
What's number 2? The red. Is it possible, just curious, if it was a red background, to have the letters outlined?
Sure.
I suppose black would be the only option, but.
If anything's possible, yes. White letters and black outlines on them. I think would probably be the best choice there.
Would you like to see a depiction of that with the black trim around the letters?
I mean, I think it's a good idea, so if the team likes it.
Okay.
You do have several lines that are going through there. Those are end lines for lacrosse and soccer. The one black line right here that goes right through the middle of Grizzlies and Wadsworth, we will not stitch in. That's the lacrosse end line. We're going to probably stop that a little bit so that when it's lacrosse season, we'll paint it through. But during the fall, it will not be there. So there's just a lot of lines that go in and out of there because of both boys and girls lacrosse fields are different. And then you got soccer as well. That's like
Got it.
And I think when we discussed this at the special meeting, there was the question about whether we would be able to do the unified lacrosse lines. The answer to that is no. If we were to do that, that would disqualify us from being able to host home tournament games, and we don't want to put our teams in any kind of a disadvantaged situation. So what I'm hearing is we'd like the red. I'm also hearing that you'd like us to get the letters outlined in black. Is that everybody on the same page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we'll move forward with. Thank you.
Thanks for including it.
Okay, the last discussion item here tonight is to set a special meeting with PTO presidents. This is following up on the one that you held last spring, which was part of your goals for last year, and continue to be moving forward here. I think there had been discussion about hosting another one with them this fall. So I tried to get some idea, just a general idea from the PTO presidents on what would work best. And while in general, there's not one time that's probably going to be the best for everybody, which is what I expected. I would tell you, though, that Monday evening, or Monday 4 o'clock or after, and Wednesday 4 o'clock or after, while that wouldn't be the preference of many, they would like morning or afternoon. Monday evening or Wednesday, no one specifically indicated that they could not do. So again, that's probably going to be dependent on each person and what their schedule looks like. The majority of them would prefer a morning or afternoon, but some of them preferred evening as well. So it's kind of all over the place. But when I looked at kind of tabulated stuff, Monday and Wednesday evening, did not have anybody specifically say can't do. And I'm defining evening 4 p.m. or later.
Okay. Would Monday, November 4th work? At 4 o'clock?
It's family first night.
Okay, that's family first night. November 11th is a holiday.
Yeah, it's Veterans Day.
18th is a board meeting. Wednesday.
Wednesday the,
Getting there.
sorry.
Wednesday what?
20th, the 20th of November?
Are we in October?
I'm in November. November.
I would be available that day, the 20th.
What date was that?
November 20th. sorry.
20th of
November 20th?
Yeah,
Yeah, that works for me.
You're saying 4 p.m.
4 p.m., Wednesday, November 20th. I'd be willing to do a second daytime meeting if that gets the rest of the group. I know that's a time commitment for you as well.
Do you want to see how the first one,
Yeah.
attendance first? And-
Yeah.
Okay. So Wednesday, the 20th, 4 p.m.?
Yep.
Okay. I'll communicate that then to them tomorrow. Okay. Just two other items under the discussion, presentations, area discussion. The quality profile we mentioned earlier is on our website. It's linked to the detail sheet of the agenda. It's a great accompanying document to the state report card. And then also linked on the detail sheet to the agenda, there's a folder where you can find the minutes from the first two middle high school athletic complex master plan committee meetings. There was a third meeting that was held at the end of last week. Those meeting minutes will be in that folder soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. At this time, we have the opportunity for public participation. If anyone would like to address the board, they could step forward to the podium. think you have 3 minutes to address the board. If you could state your name and address.
Absolutely. Good evening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. My name is Donna Garinger. I live at 335 Portage Street, Wadsworth, Ohio. I have a son in the middle school currently. What I want to address everybody about, Mr. Hills is a little familiar with this, as is Mr. Roberts. There was an incident that happened on the 24th of November, without giving the details as to what that was. The problem with the way that this was handled is that the parents weren't notified, outside of parents that were involved with the students that had a special group text. The reasons that I have issues with this is that if better communication had taken place with parents, this could have led to more information from different students outside of the group text. This could have given these students the affirmation of see something, say something, knowing that this is the right thing to do. It would have confirmed that. It was an opportunity for parents. This was a missed opportunity by the school board, and well, not the board, but the district, to help the parents engage with their children. Did you see something? Did you participate in anything with the person that was at will? And then for parents to ask their kids how they felt about that. Several of these parents didn't even know that their children were exposed to different things from said student. It would behoove the school to, and the superintendent, to make sure that the communication is more clear and concise with what actually happened, informing parents to the level. This was not your typical, well, it might have been a little bit of an incident. This was a 29-page police report incident. That's a pretty serious incident. In my line of work, we call that a near miss. So it wasn't an actual event that took place, but it's one step level below an actual event. Because of the great work of the school resource officer, the Wadsworth Police Department, the superintendent, and the principal, things were handled very quickly and swiftly. But the thing is that parents they weren't notified of this. The majority of these parents do not know the level of risk this was. That's where the Wadsworth School District has be safe, be kind, be responsible. Those are the two of the things are a failure. The safe part, you did keep the kids safe, you did do this. But there's more opportunity there for the children to be a little bit safer. What did you see? Has any child at the school shown you something that you didn't like, that you felt uncomfortable about? And then be responsible. I believe it's the school district's responsibility to inform parents when there's a near miss. So because of this incident that happened at the middle school, with some of the parents that were involved in this, that had kids that were involved in this group chat, when the high school incident happened, within a week of that, my phone blew up, which I do not have a high school student, because the lack of information from the middle school caused these parents to panic about the information that wasn't being shared with them for the high school. And I hope that makes sense, the connection I'm trying to make there. Transparency does breed trust out of people. The more transparent you are, the more that you explain things to people, the better you build that trust. One of the things that I would like to see from the school district and the Board of Education here is that you have a plan that you do let parents know that if you have an at-risk student, and we know that the school districts have them, what is that learning plan going forward for that student? Are we going to allow students like that to come back to the school that have not just minor threats, something that is a confirmed serious threat of serious harm, injury, or death to the student, school, or staff? My suggestion would be to put a student like that on a remote learning plan. Further, I did give you guys all a copy of this because this is not exactly my speaking form. For the future safety plans, it's hard on school districts, and I know that. Budgets are tight. I would volunteer my time to help, and my resources and my connections to help with this, to help with city leaders to develop, just to do different risk assessments here. Maybe do the outside risk assessments as well as inside risk assessments, things that we can do to help the students and the staff feel a little bit safer, feel a little more comfortable. My background, and then I will sit down, just so you know what my background is, it's not in school safety, but it is in safety. It's in fire emergencies. I am the manager of the fire protection systems for Metro Health Hospital. This is not just the main campus downtown. I am responsible for all the sprinkler systems, fire alarms, fire extinguishers, kitchen suppression systems throughout the Metro Health system. So one of my former responsibilities, though, was conducting the fire drills throughout the hospital. Because we have different levels of occupancies, we have different levels of fire drills. So our nursing staff and the inpatient is 1 per shift per quarter. Our business occupancies are once a year. Our kitchen occupancies are a little bit different. They have a standard fire drill, plus they have a response to the actual fire emergency. So with all that said, I just think that there is room for improvement with the parents and with the school to notify parents when there's an emergency, and maybe take a look at some of the safety plans that can be improved upon. And thank you. I know you gave me more than 3 minutes, so I thank you for that.
Thank you for addressing the board, Ms. Skogler. Geringer, wrote that down wrong. Geringer. Dr. Hill?
Okay, personnel consent items tonight I have for your consideration. It's item 1, but there's a lot in item 1. We also had items that came out for 1 on the addendum today. We added a 1B supplemental contract number 4 for William Schmelzer, girls basketball assistant coach volunteer. So at this time, recommend to you the personnel consent items number 1 with that addition from the addendum.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Beaman?
Jill Stevens.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Next, action consent items 1 through 16. 16 came out on the addendum this afternoon. It's a memorandum of understanding between the Wadsworth Education Association and the Wadsworth and you, the Board of Education. It is for the establishment of a supplemental contract for the head coach at the middle school for esports, and a separate contract for the head coach at the high school for esports. In addition, a couple other items that I wanted to mention in those 16. On item 7, I want to thank Mark and Rhonda Sandridge, Right Tool, Davis Door, and Aqua Ohio Incorporated for their donations to our school district. Still continue to be very fortunate every month with organizations and individuals stepping forward and supporting our kids. So we thank them for that support. Item 9, they were asking you to consider an approval for a different type of substitute teacher pay rate that we hope will help us fill some of our longer-term vacancies. So right now, currently, that's $105 a day to be a substitute teacher here. It's $110 if you're a Wadsworth City School District retiree. We are looking to have a rate of $150 per day when we know somebody's going to be in the same teaching assignment for a minimum of 15 days. And that would go until they get past day 60. At day 60, the law requires that they move over to our negotiated agreement pay scale and benefits. So they move to BA0 and what that daily rate is at that point in time. And then lastly, item 14, with the school calendar, we're not adjusting anything for students on what's being recommended to you. What we're asking you to consider is a revision that allows WEA members, Wadsworth Education Association members, whose last scheduled workday is Monday, June 2nd, to choose to work Saturday, May 31st in lieu of June 2nd, if they choose to, at the end of the year. So at this time, I recommend to you action consent items 1 through 16.
Motion to approve?
Yeah. Wait.
So on number 9, do we know how our rate compares, I'm sure we know, to other schools for pay for substitutes? Is it
I would tell you for our area right around us, we're very, very close. We just went through and raised those rates. It was within the last year. I think the average in the greater Cleveland area, you remember, Steve, was it like 120 something that I shared, is what the average is in the greater Cleveland area. But directly with school districts in close proximity, our rates are very favorable. Yeah.
I have a question then as well on the calendar. I know there's a calendar committee. Is that something we can adopt going forward to end the school year before June 1st?
Yeah, well, yes. We look at many factors with that committee. That's one of them. That committee has wanted to start the school year later. And so those calendars that go out, and it's interesting because there's no one thing that makes everyone happy, as you can imagine. So, but with what has come out, what comes out of the committee are options. The options go to employees. The employees give feedback. We bring to you the one that gets pretty much the most votes on what they're interested in. But that is a factor that we are looking at.
Okay.
And so that we don't have to make adjustments like this. We have a number of items that are listed in the negotiated agreement that the committee is supposed to consider. And one of those that's stated is the impact on retirees that that are considering retiring for that year.
Okay. Thank
The
you.
process we go through is what's in the negotiated agreement.
Thank you. Okay, motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Beaver?
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Jill Stevens.
Aye.
I have two separate personnel items to vote on individually. The first is a recommendation to approve Julie Beatty as a volunteer.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Beamer?
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Present but not voting.
Jill Stevens.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
The second is a recommendation to approve Jill Stevens as a volunteer.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Beaman?
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Jill Stevens.
Present, not voting.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
That's all that I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a standalone administrative item at the recommendation of Assistant Superintendent Moore. Motion to approve on the addendum.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Beaman?
Jill Stevens.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to items of the treasurer.
Thank you. I just have two items tonight. One is to recommend a transfer for speech and debate. This is to cover probably about the last 3 years. It's been about 3 years, I believe, since we've done a transfer to speech and debate for some of their costs that the board typically picks up, associated particularly with the national tournament and travel expenses. And then, of course, your September financial reports.
Thank you, Doug. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Beaman?
Jill Stevens.
Aye.
Tim Beck.
Aye.
Gary McComas.
Aye.
Julie Beatty.
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is a legislative update. There's no update until the House and Senate return after the election in November. So move on to board member items. Connor, you go first. Please note, we didn't ask Connor to stand. He wanted to hand out the certificates.
I appreciate the opportunity. So, hi, I would like to first thank the board for all having me back this month so I can fill you in on what has been and what will be going on at Wadsworth High School. So to start, let's talk about some events. So just earlier this month, from September the 30th to October 4th, the Student Council held a Homecoming Spirit Week throughout the high school. This included differently themed spirit days, a Great Gatsby themed scavenger hunt every day during the academic lab period throughout the high school, and it all culminated in a really energetic pep rally the Friday before the game. Then, now when we look future into what events we're going to have this month at the high school, we can start out looking at academics, where the PSAT will be held for all sophomores and juniors at the high school on October the 17th. And then looking a little bit further, Beth Beal is going to be hosting supporting a drug-free life for all students by creating the Red Ribbon Week throughout the high school from the 21st through the 25th of October. This is just going to be spirit days to help support students living more drug-free. And then finally, on November the 11th, the high school will host their Veterans Day Assembly with performances from the band, choir, and along with several student speakers. Then when we look to a couple school changes, meanwhile, throughout the remainder of this month, the building will be home to a lot of various college representatives from the University of Akron, Xavier University, Seton Hall University, Wittenberg University, Marietta College, and the Cleveland State University. These will help allow more students to get access to these college programs and just overall get a better sense for what life would be like on these campuses. Now, while we are on the topic of college, from October the 15th through the 25th, there will be multiple days where Guidance will be hosting different college application workshops to help students with anything from school links to common application and whatever other questions they may have when submitting their college applications for the upcoming school year. Then on a slightly different note, all juniors and seniors will have the opportunity to apply to the National Honor Society, with the application deadline being October the 28th, where later next month we'll have all of them being sworn in at the ceremony. Then along with those lines, the National Honor Society will actually be hosting a blood drive where they will partner with the Red Cross later this month, just next week on October the 22nd. Now, when we look to the fine arts, there's a lot of things going on this month, and actually just earlier last Thursday, the high school choir performed a completely sold-out show for their first concert of the year. It was very successful. All seats were sold. Some of them were actually double booked, as a matter of fact. Then, later this month, Wadsworth Off-Broad Street Players will present a play, A Wrinkle in Time, in the PAC from November 14th through the 16th in the evenings. And then to wrap up the fine arts, the speech and debate team will be competing in their first tournament of the year at Hudson just in 2 weeks from now on October the 26th. Hopefully we'll do really well. Now, finally, when we look to sports, our football team has carried on their winning streak. They're currently 8-0, placing us first in our conference and 29th in the state, doing very well this year. And most of our fall sports have already ended, with some of our standouts being our girls' varsity cross-country team and our volleyball team, which both actually won the Suburban League champions for this season. Both very great jobs there. And then with that, winter is very quickly approaching, both the cold weather and actually the sports that are going to come along with it. Within the next month, basketball, bowling, cheerleading, gymnastics, swimming, and wrestling all beginning their practices as they get into their seasons. So overall, I'd like to just thank you all for having me back this month. Hopefully you'll have me back again next month, and I can keep you guys all posted.
You're stuck with us. Connor, you're definitely permanent, because I feel like we know lots what's going on, so thank you very much. Good job, Mr. Seaver. Let's go to Gary, because I heard him say volleyball.
Well, I wanted to say congratulations to all the students of the month. Still my favorite part of the board meeting, probably always will be. But it's just neat to listen to all the accolades that the kids get. Congratulations to our sports teams. I know we've got some exciting times coming up here with football and postseason. If you guys can make it out to the volleyball, they have their first tournament home game on October 23rd. So you got to take one game at a time, but there's high hopes that they have a really good team this year. So they have some pretty high hopes of how far they're going to go. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have right now.
Thanks, Gary. Tim?
A couple of shout outs. I was at the choir concert last Thursday. It was sold out. Great show. We have a lot to be proud of with our music, drama, and art programs. Hopefully this Friday night it won't rain and we'll be able to see the marching band compete their halftime show. Looking forward to seeing that as well. Of course, senior night will be coming up here in a couple weeks as well for football and band. Lion King Jr., I think, is happening later in October. That's the middle school musical. So lots of exciting things are taking place in those departments. A few of us got to see Lincoln Elementary have their ribbon cutting of their brand new book vending machine. Didn't even know that thing existed. And let me tell you, it's so cool. Students can earn tokens and get books, like that's pretty cool. I like it. So congratulations to Lincoln and their PTO and the students who did the readathon, raising money for that. And most of you know this is my first year on the board, and people will often ask me what's my favorite thing about being on the board, and by far it's when we get to tour the schools. And so a couple weeks ago we were able to tour Franklin and Overlook in the middle school, and then we even got to pop over to the high school for their pep rally. And I just want the community to know just how much the hard work and dedication of our teachers and administrators who are just doing so many awesome things to help our students thrive. And to be able to see that, sort of a behind-the-scenes look at students who are excelling, it's just a blessing, and I'm just so thankful that we have so many great teachers and administrators who are just giving their all for our kids. So thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Well said. Julie?
Yes, to piggyback on what Tim has just stated, we had the opportunity to visit Franklin in the middle school and briefly the high school and Overlook Elementary. And again, it is a wonderful opportunity for us as board members to be able to tour the buildings and to see what's going on and the collaboration with not only, amongst teachers in the PTOs, but also the community. I think is extraordinary, and it is really refreshing to see beyond what we read in the newsletter, to see what's going on in your buildings. I think we learned at Franklin that they're up for redesignation next year for their STEM, and to be able to see each individual class's gardens, and I call it the Franklin backyard, is beautiful. And I know is well used for all the STEM activities, but just a wonderful space for the kids to learn and grow. And then we traveled to the middle school, and again, I have seen on their Instagram page the mural that's in one of the hallways. But this year, currently, the art students are helping to finish that off with some great Americans who highlight empowerment and innovation and leadership. And so I think it's a great collaboration, again, with students and the art teacher in order to make that happen. Overlook, it was great. That's my kiddo's alma mater, and it was great to visit the classrooms there and actually see all the different teaching methods that are used from kindergarten, Mrs. Ott reading her book and having kids putting leaves up on the board, and then you go into another classroom and they're doing math calculations with the Clever Touch board and playing basketball and that type of thing if they get the answer right. So just again, a great opportunity to visit. And then yes, Lincoln with I was there also for the book vending machine, and if you could have seen the kids' joy and sense of awe and cheering, you did actually feel like you're at a Taylor Swift concert. Like when that was revealed, it was like chaos. I mean, it was just a wonderful opportunity for our kids. What else do I have? I also see, and I see this in a lot of buildings, but I believe I read in the Valley View newsletter that there's going to be mindful moments on the move. So I think it's like something special to not only are we supporting our students, but our administrators go out of their way to make sure that our staff and teachers are recognized and supported. So I think that's just a wonderful thing that I've seen certainly throughout a lot of the buildings. What else do I have? I must end then with our lovely Grizzly Academy. And I know they just had their family event of the year, the first family event of the year, which was their grilling and bingo night. And two, also reading in the newsletter, I loved reading about positive reinforcement, and it does go beyond rewards and stickers. It's more of giving somebody kudos for something that they've done, or just a positive word, I think goes a long way. So just a lot of love, a lot of learning going on in our buildings, and I'm just really proud to be a part of it.
Thanks, Julie. I was also attended our school tours, and as Julie and Tim so eloquently said, it was just wonderful to see that in action. And then I compare it to my grade school experience, and I feel we did absolutely nothing fun. So yeah, it was really cool to see the STEM offerings. We did get an opportunity to visit both the pep rallies, which was also fun, although I was very nervous during the egg drop. I don't know how that ended up. And the high school gym is very, very loud when you have all the students in there. It's been a while. So I think the sophomores won, but boy, was that loud. That was fun. So I also love the murals in the middle school. And while it may not be anybody's plan, or Mr. Moore might not like it, I'd love to see that much color in all of our high school and middle school. And not that those gray walls aren't lovely. And we do read your newsletters. Thank you for continuing to share those. And where there are events, such as Lincoln and the vending machine, we would love to attend when possible. I couldn't attend Lincoln, but we try to attend as much as we can with schedules allow. So I feel like it would be disruptive if I ever just showed up at a school. So send the invites, because they've given us permission. Thank you for that. And lastly, I just want to give a shout out to our staff and our chaperones and our administration and our SRO and the Wadsworth Police for the handling of the event last weekend at homecoming. So given the information he had, it was the best that we could definitely be handled. It's appreciated. Okay. One more item is ratification of resignations, items 1 through 2 on the agenda and item 3 on the addendum. If I can get a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second?
Second. Can I make one
Sure.
comment?
Uh-huh.
I think we have one of our retirees here tonight, Mary Lynn.
Oh.
Just want to thank Mary for all of her service here to the district, and thank you, Mary.
Absolutely, but I do assume you'll still be in charge of, like, Grizzly sports, right? Yeah. Need to see at the football. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I don't remember if we did a motion.
We did, but we didn't do roll.
Okay.
Tim Beck?
Aye.
Gary McComas?
Aye.
Julie Beatty?
Aye.
Jill Stevens?
Aye. Thank you. We'll now adjourn into executive session to discuss employment, to consider purchase of property for public purposes and matters required by law to be kept confidential. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Beaman?
Gary McComas?
Aye.
Julie Beatty?
Aye.
Jill Stevens?
Aye.
Tim Beck?
Thank you.